This could be one of the major streams of income. This could be something that you use to, fund your dreams. So I'm going to talk to you guys about what Forex is, okay? Before I get started, I'd like to show you a video. And before I get started, also, will you please, in the chat room, let me know if you are brand new. Let me know if you're new or if you've been on before. Because remember, like our model here on this IML team and whatnot is 4 basics, 4 Londons. I like to see brand new people. Good. You just joined 23rd. Great. Merry Christmas. All right. Good. I like that when I do these trainings, I always see brand new, never traded yet. Okay. Good. How many of you are even new to like the knowledge of Forex? Like, wow, I just now found out that there was Forex. Like, I didn't even know Forex existed. It's brand spanking new. All right, Sharon. Okay. So type in the chat if you are new to Forex, period. Not just new to IML, but new to Forex, period. Because I know if anybody on here is like me, at one point, I didn't even know, fresh as a newborn. I like that. New to Forex, period. Never knew about it. Isn't that something? I'm a high school teacher, and I decided that, I'm gonna just go out there. It was the holiday break. We're not really doing anything. So I decided to ask them, what is this? And I wrote Forex on the board. And the look on their faces, they all just looked like blanks, drawing blanks big time. Like they weren't even pronouncing it right. They called it forks. Like, what is forks? They don't even know it exists. These students, I asked all my students, I teach 160 of them. None of them knew anything about it. And then very little about the stock market. They know about it probably because they've seen it in a movie. But I just think that's pretty sad, 2 weeks old. Well, welcome. All right. And I also want you guys to know, I'm trade science and whatnot. I love to teach on the basics because you got to know the basics. Okay. You got 7 Londons. All right. Good. I'm actually starting to understand this stuff. Okay. Sonia, like, I'm going to just pause and just comment to Sonia and to everybody. Notice she says she has 7 Londons and about the same for these training sessions. She's actually starting to understand the stuff. Like I want you guys to understand something. As a teacher, because this is what I've done, this is what I do professionally, I want you to understand that I'm going to go through some stuff, and as you attend these 4 basics, 4 Londons, and you get on Lee's trainings and other ladies' trainings, I want you guys to understand that it is absolutely okay if you are confused, okay? Absolutely okay. In fact, I want you to be confused, especially if you're brand new, because what does that mean? That means that your brain is trying to understand the stuff. Like, our subconsciouses are so powerful. It's amazing how the first time you hear information, you're like, what? Huh? What are you talking about? Because I know when I got on, yes, it is a relief to know. When I got on the first London session, they weren't doing basic trainings like we are now. But when I got on the London session, oh God, like I just saw all these little jiggy jaggies going across the screen. They were talking languages that I have never heard. Like, they're talking about pips and whatnot. I had no idea what they're talking about. But it's amazing. The next time, and I thought I walked away not thinking that I understood nothing. The next time I got on, amazing what my brain picked up that I didn't know it picked up. So let your brain do the job it was built to do. Let it keep on sucking up the information. Don't get discouraged if you don't understand what is actually taking place, because your brain is doing its job subconsciously. That's why we have a subconscious. As a teacher, it's important to see that repetition. Repetition is your best friend. Practice makes perfect. There you go. There's a reason why people say that. And it is the key to learning anything. Another side note, is anybody on here, like, I am not bilingual, sadly. I wish I was. But you have to also treat Forex as though it is another language, because it kind of is like another language. And this is not your native tongue. I know when I was in school, I went to Spanish 4. I got good book Spanish 4 knowledge, but when it comes to speaking it, not so good. However, you have to treat Forex like you're learning another language, because you are. You're speaking another language. You're thinking in another language. Like, it's not just important to master the speaking or the, you know, the grammar, the terms, but you got to start thinking like the natives. You have to be able to do that in order to understand. So that's another reason why you don't want to get down on yourself. You can't expect that if you've never learned this language or you want to take up a new language, that after 2 weeks of hardcore studying that you will be 100% fluent. Can you? Is that even realistic to even think in that way? That's not fair to you as a person. So you need to make sure that you give yourself room to grow. Give your brain the room it needs to do its job. Don't you take control and try to do everything and then get discouraged because it's not working in the time that you expected. To learn another language takes a large amount of time and it takes energy. If you are truly serious about Forex, you have to give yourself the room. And when you give yourself that room, you will actually give yourself the permission to make mistakes, because those mistakes are going to be your best teachers. Okay? So now that I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started on what is Forex. Okay? All right, 10% after 2 weeks. Okay, that's good. And sometimes we're going to have, if you understand retracement, Sonia, sometimes we have retracements in our learning. All right, so there you go. We're going to move on. What is Forex? To those of you who are my brand news and whatnot, let's talk about what Forex is, okay? I'm going to show you this video, and I want you to know I also have my chat up, so if you are, if you type anything, I can see it, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get this started. Why isn't, oh, I have my, sorry, let me close this out. Okay, get out of the way. Sorry, guys. Okay, let's get started. So, here is a video that's going to give you an idea of what Forex is.
You may form of foreign exchange. Well, Forex is a bit more than that. For example, companies buy goods from other countries. In order to buy them, they need to obtain the local currency first, just like us when going on holiday. The difference is they will exchange huge amounts. When these companies exchange these huge amounts, they will actually move the price, because the demand for the currency that they need increases. When the demand increases, the price increases. With all this exchanging going on around the world, the exchange rates constantly move. This is how it works. When currencies are exchanged, they have a certain price, the exchange rate. As in any market, the price of a currency is determined by the law of supply and demand. If there are many people or companies that want to change euros into dollars, the price of the dollar will rise against the euro, and so the exchange rate will change. Let's use an everyday example to explain how you can actually profit from this. Say you live in Europe and went on holiday to the United States. Let's say that you changed your 500 euros into US dollars at the rate of $1.4 for every euro. You got 700 US dollars, but you do not spend any money at all. So you still have $700 after you come back. After the exchange rate moved from 1.4 to 1.3, instead of getting just 500 euros back, you actually get 538.5 euros. You have gained 38.5 euros simply from holding your money in dollars while the exchange rate changed. This is essentially how we trade in the Forex market. We buy a certain amount of a currency, hold on to it whilst the exchange rate moves, then change it back, making money along the way. How to decide when the right time to buy and sell is exactly what we teach you throughout the rest of our learning lessons. As you can imagine, traveling a lot and saving a bit of money on your holiday budget and then exchanging it, it's not really a practical approach to trading currencies. Fortunately, there is an easier way to do this. You can trade currency through online exchange offices called brokers. What this means is that you can exchange currencies online throughout the day and take advantage of the constantly fluctuating exchange rates. Just as in the example of when you went on holiday, you can buy different currencies and make a profit as the exchange rates change. This is trading the Forex market. Trading Forex online with a broker has many benefits. You can trade Forex from your home or anywhere that you have an internet connection. The Forex market never sleeps. It is open 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and so can suit your daily routine. You do not need a huge budget to get started. As little as $150 is enough to begin trading and building your account over time. Of course, it will require some learning until you get there, but this is exactly what TradeImo is here for. To help you learn how to trade in a way that can suit your individual lifestyle, and to help you navigate your way through the Forex market.
Okay, so that video did a good job. I usually like that video because it does a great job of breaking down the initial idea of what Forex trading actually is. And for those of you who are brand new, again, I want to reiterate, as an educator, because that's what I've done for 8 years, I want you to welcome confusion. Okay, because some of the things, especially if you are brand new, some of these things are going to be confusing. And what I have noticed when I look at students, and even as a lifelong learner myself, is when I am confused, two things will either happen. One is either I will figure it out eventually, or I'll just give up and no longer confused. Either situation, I'm not confused anymore. Confusion is a good sign. It's a good sign that you are in a process of learning. It's a good sign that your brain is doing its best to learn. And it's going to take, sometimes it might take some time. It'll take it back to the drawing board and, it'll start to, work on things. That's why we say 4 basics, 4 Londons. Obviously, that's just to get you started. I have people on here that have been doing it for 7 basics and 7 Londons. Good job, Sonia, and to anybody else who's silent. I just continue to say, welcome the confusion. Ask the questions. Give yourself a break. Give yourself permission to understand this when it is the right time. The more you get on this, the more repetition, the more it's going to be. It's kind of like when you watch a movie over and over, and the first time you see this, the second time you see that, and I mean, you'll just keep seeing stuff that you never noticed before. It's amazing what we pick up. Okay, so what is Forex? It is a $5.3 trillion a day industry. All right, so the New York Stock Exchange trades about $22.4 billion a day, which is amazing. The Forex, however, trades $5.3 trillion a day. And if you know anything about the movement of money, that is what drives economies, when money is moving back and forth, kind of like a river. As the river flows, you see life. But when a river is stagnant, what do you have? Death and disease and destruction. So you want to see that constant movement. The more the movement, the better, depending on situation. When it comes to money, the more money exchanged, the bigger the industry, the better. And the more room there is for people like you and me to get there and make some money when we start to incorporate, good risk management and our knowledge, okay? So now, what is Forex made up of? It is made up of currency pairs. It's important that you not only know, okay, what Forex is, but what makes it up. It's made up of currency pairs. In the video, it talked about, you're buying and selling currency. Currency is always going to be in a pair. So on one hand, you've got, let's say here, I actually have some examples. You might have, one country's currency, you want to exchange it into another currency, a country's currency. It will always be in a pair, okay? All right, so there are 3 types of currency pairs. There's the majors, the minors, and the crosses, okay? I'm going to show you examples of all of those. The majors are basically anything that is traded with the United States dollar. So any currency pair that contains USD are considered majors. The Euro USD happens to be one of the most widely traded currency pairs globally, but then there are many others like USD, JPY, GBP. You can see them all. And then right here, this is the geek speech right over here, the dollar Swissy, the dollar loonie, the Aussie dollar, Kiwi dollar. I mean, eventually, remember when I was talking about treat Forex as though you're learning a new language? It's kind of the same thing, like euro dollar. Like eventually when you start getting into this, you'll start being able to see, okay, this is the speech. This is what, this is when they say, hey, I was trading the pound yen, then you'll know what they're talking about. Oh, okay, GBP, JPY. All right, and then the next one is the cross-currency pairs. These ones they don't contain US dollar, but they are derived from major non-USD currencies or more, more established economies and whatnot, such as Euro, JPY, GBP. All right, and then you have the exotics, which are the more emerging Hold on, let me move on to it. They're the more emerging currency pairs. So things like the USD, they might have the United States dollar in it, but they're more exotic. A lot of times exotics are not as widely traded, specifically because they're not as liquid. And let me just explain what it means when I say liquid, okay? When I go back to the majors are traded most often, followed by the crosses. The reason why people like to trade the majors and the crosses, remember, crosses are anything that contain a more established economy's currency, and then the majors are anything that contains the US dollar. And please, guys, make sure you are taking notes. Make sure you are asking questions as you have them. I constantly have my chat open and I'm always looking. All right? Okay, so anyhow, what does it mean when something is more liquid? Basically, that just means that you have a higher chance of exchanging, because when you are trading Forex, that is what you're doing, an exchange. In order to exchange, you got to have somebody on the other side willing to exchange with you. You can't just, let's say I wanted to, sell purses. If I want to sell purses, I got to have people who want to buy purses. Okay, and then they will give me money. I will give them purses. All right. The more liquid, the better my business is going to be. It would make more sense for me to go downtown or go to a developed area, shopping area, and open up my business, because there's going to be way more traffic. The more traffic, the higher chance for me to exchange my purses for dollars. Versus, I live in Iowa. If I was to go out into the middle of the cornfield, I most likely am not going to find too many people willing to take my trade. It's going to be a lot harder to get that action. All right, it's going to take longer. As a result, we have these things called brokers, which is where you would, like, if you guys you're supposed to set up your MetaTrader 4, and if you've already gotten started, you'll have a broker, which is where you do all of your exchanging, and whatnot. And this is where you withdraw your money and put in your money. Basically, the brokers will charge you more for exotic pairs. Why? Because it's going to be a lot harder for them to find someone willing to take your trade, versus the majors. Is not going to be as hard for someone, because they're like, everybody's trading it. Like, for instance, Euro USD, like I said, that one is the most widely traded currency pair. Okay. All right. So now, does anybody have any questions about liquidity and the three types of currency pairs? If you do, please put it in the chat room. If I confused you, good. Please ask questions. Remember, welcome confusion, everybody. Bring it to you. Just, okay. Please feel free to let me know. Also, I'm a big advocate for reading and whatnot. IML offers IML Academy and whatnot, where they actually have videos of people going through information. So if you're good at sitting down and listening to people talk to you, Chris Terry, he's actually done some pretty advanced things and whatnot. As far as some of them are advanced, a lot of them are basic. So if you want to see from the $1 Million Man, he has videos. And then there is Baby Pips, which is really good. It breaks down a lot of what I just talked about, and you can read it at your own pace. So it says, what's the average cost of brokers? How does that work? There is no average cost of brokers. The average cost is the cost is taken out of the spread, which I will actually talk about the spread here shortly. And it varies depending on the time of the day. It varies depending on the season. Like, is it the summertime? Is it a holiday? It really varies. Did like a huge news, did news come out? Okay, so I had someone say, can I go give you minors one more time? The minors are anything that does not contain US dollar, all right? So basically, but it contains a more stable economy, one that's been around for quite a while, Euro, the yen, or excuse me, EUR, JPY, GBP, and whatnot, all right? Countries that are more emerging in their economies that haven't yet established themselves, those ones would be considered exotic pairs, okay? Do you have to learn all of those charts, or is there a way around that? Now, when you say all those charts, like, are you talking about these charts right here? Right here, like all these charts that you see, like that has all of these little currencies in there? Because if you are referring to these charts, no, you do not have to. Oh, the MetaTrader charts. No, I mean, you don't. You remember, like, the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. Like, you definitely don't need to just, learn every single one of those charts. A lot of people like to specialize. They like to pick a couple of currency pairs that they like and really just learn those, trade those. Eventually, they start to see a pattern, and then they move on and they add more to their portfolio. So no, you don't have to overcomplicate. You don't have to overwhelm yourself. All right. Okay. I hope that answers your question. All right, so now let's go on to when do you trade Forex? Now, I still have, for some reason, the summer sessions up, but basically the times that you can trade Forex. First of all, Forex is 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. The market closes on Friday and it opens on Sunday. Okay. In the summertime, these times are adjusted for daylight savings time. But basically, if you wanted to know when you could trade, like obviously you could trade right now. But if you want to know, you can go online and Google, what session is open. There are actually 4 trading sessions. There is the Sydney session, which for some reason, not too many people actually talk about that one as much, but you have, more economies like New Zealand, Australian, whatnot. Those sessions are more open during that time. And then you've got they call this the Tokyo. This is the Tokyo session, but a lot of people refer to it as the Asian session. People on that side of the globe are up and running and their economies are thriving because people are awake. And what are they doing? They're spending money and money is being moved during that time. Then you have the London session, which is, obviously London, UK, Great Britain, all of those, Ireland, all of those different countries, their economies moving. Then you've got the New York session, which is more of the Western side, Canada, United States, this side. So basically it caters to each person's time zone. And really, I know people who go to work during the day and they're up at night, they like to trade the London and the Tokyo session. And then there are people that sleep during the day, and then they just, or they work at night and they trade during the New York and the Sydney session. The best time to trade, guys, is going to be when you have overlaps. That's going to be the highest liquidity. That's also going to be the most volatile. So that's when, you might see a lot of news releases come out around that time. But what it's going to create is it's going to create a lot of people trading. When you have 2 different sessions open, that's like 2 different worlds and whatnot that are all awake at the same time trading. That increases increases liquidity. And back to your question about your broker, that also can reduce the spread. That can reduce the amount that it would cost for you to trade, because the higher the liquidity, the easier it is for your broker to find someone willing to take your trade, which would actually make it a lot cheaper for you. Okay. All right. So here is another thing. Okay, so it says right here, below is a chart on the average pip range. So you can see Sundays are typically slower moving. This is basically for each pair, and there are a lot of pairs. Oopsie, sorry guys. I'm not asking you to actually memorize every single one of these pairs. Like I said earlier, pick a couple and, just pick a couple of those and, see what they do. You'll start to notice the ones that you like. You'll see ones that are a little bit, they just kind of move a little too much. Like you can see GBP, JPY. That one is a way more aggressive pair, and some people really don't like trading that. That gold is another pretty aggressive pair. Some really do love trading that. New Zealand dollar, you can see that that one is a lot more, thank you very much, Nicole, and I'm going to read that in just a moment. But you can see that New Zealand dollar is a lot more, lighter traded. It doesn't have as many pip movements. And look, guys, I'm talking pip right now. I said pip, not pimp. That is not a spell check error. That is actually what they are called. I thought it was pimp when I first got started, guys. But anyhow, I will talk about pips and why you should be excited about pips, because I know I was extremely excited about pips. Okay, so you can see when Friday, a lot of people are trying to get their last trades going. Some people, get in and then the market closes on Friday. So there you go. You can trade really 6 days out the week. But it closes Friday. Saturday is your day off. Saturday is study day. That's how I treat it. I treat it as my day to kind of look at my charts, to kind of get, what am I going to do? Strategize for the next week coming up. That's what I like to do, and then other people, they just take that time off. So there you have it. See, Forex gives you some days off. All right. So, okay. Now, have I lost anybody right now? Please type in the chat if I've lost anybody. Type in the chat if you're good to go. Oh, that's really nice, Nicole. I'm actually reading your message. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Okay, good so far. Good. And remember, if you're confused, That's okay. That's all right. Okay, so now buying versus selling. All right, now this is back to the question as far as how does it work? What does your broker do? All right, first of all, this here is, it says buying versus selling. You know, you buy when you think that an economy, depending on what it is. First of all, let's see here. This is an actual currency pair, the euro versus the US dollar. All right, this right here is called the spread. Okay, this is what your broker creates. When you decide to place a trade right here, let's say I wanted to, you know, I felt like the euro was going to do really good, and I felt like the US economy was not going to be doing as good for this moment in time. So I'm going to go ahead and, you know, take a buy on the euro. I'm going to buy euro, and I'm going to get rid of my US dollar. That's basically what's happening. What your broker does is this right here. They will go out there, they will place your trade, and then they will accept the trade from someone else for this amount. The distance or the difference between what they, you know, took your trade and what they went out is called the spread. Okay, it's a difference in price between buying and selling. All right, this spread is what you pay when you start. So when you actually take a trade, you typically start off negative right away because they're taking the spread right out of, like they take their spread right at the beginning. The good thing, the good news about Forex is you cannot, it's not like gambling where you can like lose almost unlimited amount of money. It's basically whatever you start with, whatever you put in, that's what you can lose. I mean, you can look at that as good news. They won't make you go more in debt. You won't have a house to mortgage or whatnot, unless you know, you know what I mean. But anyhow, let me keep above. But this spread right here is basically how you pay your broker. This spread right now is pretty low. During the holiday times, it's going to be a lot higher. Why? Because the major movers and shakers of the actual Forex trading world, the banks, are on holiday. All around the world, there's a lot of banks. If you look online, you'll see a lot of countries, you know, celebrate Christmas. A lot of banks go on holiday, along with the next major holidays of the entire world, the New Year. I'd say every country around the world celebrates the New Year. So the banks are going to be on holiday, which is going to produce less movement in the market, which is going to make it harder for your broker to find someone willing to make a trade. A lot of more experienced traders choose not to trade around this time because it's not high liquidity and the spreads are much higher, okay? So for those of you who've been around a little bit, have taken some trades, you might understand what I'm saying. For those of you who are brand new, you might be like, what? What's a pip? And it's okay. You know what? That knowledge will come back to you later. All I'm saying is the spread changes. It changes by the season. It changes if there's high news. It changes, you know, what time of day, what day it actually is. You know, it really can change. It varies. But the Euro USD, the major currency pairs, typically have the lowest spread, which is why people like to trade the majors and some of the crosses. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about buying and selling. All right, because those are the terms that we talk about when we are actually doing Forex. You're buying something or you are, you know, selling something. You know, it's pretty much kind of capitalism, if you will. All right, so I see a question. Is the spread the price you buy and sell minus, okay, example, 0.1 or plus? No, the spread, remember, sorry, guys, the spread is basically when you look online, when you actually get into your MetaTrader, you will see your currency pairs, and they will look kind of like this. You'll see these numbers, and then you'll see a slash, and then you'll see those numbers. The spread is the difference between the price of the buy and the sell. So basically that price right here minus that price right there, and that's how you get your spread. The broker magically adjusts the spread, okay, depending on the time of day, the season, the holiday, whatever's actually happening at that moment in time. All right, so a buy. What does a buy and sell look like? So buy means when you think the market is going to move up, then you would place a buy. When you think that the market is going to move down, or not just the market, when we refer to the market, we're talking specifically about our currency, Euro USD. If I go back to Euro USD, like I said, if I feel, hey, the euro has been like that economy, I've been keeping tabs, they've been doing really good here. I believe that that economy is going to rise against the US dollar. I feel like at that moment in time, things are going well for that economy. I feel that the US economy is kind of shaky right now, whatever. I'm going to place a buy. I'm buying the euro. I'm getting rid of or I'm dumping my US dollars. That is when you place a buy, okay? And what does that look like? That looks like right here, okay? I feel like the euro is going to go up, the US is going to go down. So when you place a buy, this is what it looks like. You expect that the market, remember, buy low, sell high. Make sure you put that in your notes. When you expect the market to go up, it's going up, and that's what will reflect in the market. One economy is rising against the other. All right. Now, on the contrary, a sell means, you know what? Back to this euro. I don't know. They're kind of shaky and whatnot. They just went through elections and people are panicking. I think that the U.S. economy is actually going to do better. So I'm going to sell the euro and I'm going to buy the U.S. Okay. So what does that look like? It would look something like this. Hey, this is the euro economy. I think it's about to tank. It did. You know, so when I put a sell in, you sell when it's high, you buy when it's low, okay? So what do I really want you to see with this? I just really want you to know that, okay, when you expect the market, if you were to just go off of straight visual, I expect these little jiggy-jaggy lines to go down. That would be placing a sell. I expect these little jiggy-jaggy lines to go up. That would be placing a buy. That is the basics, you know, of what I want you to understand, okay? Please let me know if you have any questions about that, all right? Okay, and make sure you type it in the chat. Okay, so buy low, sell high. Are you referring to the lot size? No, I am referring to what it's looking like when what the market is doing. I'll go on to the next slide so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, and will you be able to watch this again? Yes, you can watch this again because this is being recorded, all right? And it will be uploaded to Rich Girls Trade, I believe. Please, Lee, if you're on, make sure you type in the chat where they can go. I believe it's richgirlstrade.com. You can type in the chat where they can go. If not, by the end of this webinar, I will make sure that I get that for you. And I'm looking at another question. So, yes. Okay, so here you have it. It says, what is a buy low and sell high? See this market? See how it's moving up and down? Up and down. So you sell when the market reaches a high point, typically a place where the market has gone before and then it's turned around and gone the other way. So a lot of times people are watching, you know, I am watching when I look at my charts, you see now, that's good. I'm watching and I see, hey, the market went up here and then it went down and then it went up here again and then it went down. So I expect when it approaches this area, I think it might go down. Now you got to keep in mind that you actually can't see all this over here. You only can see this little white spot right there. So a lot of times traders are watching this and then that's when they place a sell. Now, are they right all the time? No, because look right here in this situation. It went up here and instead of going down, what did it do? It broke through, okay? Not all the time will you get it, all right? Not all the time will you get it. You can't be right every single time. And we try to teach you good risk management because you can't win every single trade. You will lose, and it's important that you understand how to manage what happens when you lose. Not on top of that, but how much you lose when you lose, okay? The only thing that you can control in this market is how much that you lose. That can be actually very empowering when, you know, I would rather be in control of something. So at least I can be in control of how much I lose. Okay. If I know when I enter this trade, I'm okay to lose 50 bucks and that's it, then that's empowering versus, you know, how a lot of us people, you know, we get in. When I was brand new, I would get in and I would just trust my gut. I would just trust my feelings. You know, I would just pray. Nothing against praying at all because I'm big on it. But I will tell you right now, you need to use the skills that you get from IML to actually protect you from guessing, okay? There is no necessary, like you won't always know for sure. So at the end of the day, this is what a buy looks like. This is what a sell looks like. You buy when it's low, you sell when it gets high, okay? And I had a question earlier from someone saying, is it better to pay commissions versus a spread? You can't figure this out to save your life. I think it really depends. You know, it really depends on the type of trader you are. You know, the spreads can vary. You know, I guess personally, I would much rather trade. I would much rather trade the spread only because I get it out the way right up front. I don't have nobody, like if I actually win, like let's say I won $1,500. If I got $1,500 from the market, I don't want to give the broker 20% or 35% of my winnings. I would much rather break them off that little tiny spread and then the sky is the limits for me. That's me personally, and it really depends on the type of trader that you are, okay? All right. So, oh yes, thank you, Nicole. What I was talking about is called technical analysis. Okay. And that is something that you will get taught. I know Lee actually talked a lot about moving averages and whatnot. I know that, on IML, basically they have lots of trainings. Oh, shoot, the London session is all about technical analysis. That is where you learn how to trade, so you're not just going off of your gut feeling, okay? All right, so going long versus going short, all right? Oh, sorry. All right, going long versus going short. Long just is another way of saying I'm placing a buy. Short is another way of saying sell. Okay. Why did I want to include that? Because we talk like this. Remember, I told you Forex is like another language. All right. And this is some of the vocabulary or some of the terms of our Forex. I'm going long, I'm going short. I had no idea what people were talking about when they said, oh, I'm shorting Euro USD. What do you mean you're shorting? Like, did somebody take your money? What did they talk? So that's what I wanted to know. Like, it's good for you to know this. So please make sure you put this in your notebook. Go long equals buy, place a buy. When you see this on telegrams, when Lee or anyone else is throwing out signals, when the harmonic scanner, they will say go long, go short. They might say buy, sell. You don't know, but it's good to know all of those. Okay. So there you have it. All right. And now for the pips. The important part, the reason why we're all here. What is a pip? Basically, a pip is the unit of measurement that expresses a change in the value between currencies, okay? It's called a pip. So when you're looking, if you go back to, good old times in class when we talked about graphs, when you are graphing and you make a bar graph and whatnot, and you have to analyze, okay, the graph was here, but now it moved down here. How much did it move? That is the pips that they're talking about, okay? For those of you who are not auditory, you need to see visual, I will show you. Here's an example. If I say Euro USD, this is a currency pair, is at 1.3020, but it moved up 1 pip, then what it should look like is this, 1.3021. Okay. Now, on the other hand, if I say that it moved down, Euro USD was at 1.3020 and it subtracted, or we lost the pip, then this is what it should be, 1.3019. Okay. That makes sense? Hopefully, basically the pip is nothing more than the 4th decimal number after the comma or after the period, the decimal, basically. Make sure you write that down. This is the pip. Right here, the 4th position, all right? You will see, and the reason I want to pretty much reiterate the 4th position is because a lot of times people, like you might see, most of the time you're not going to see 4 digits after the decimal. You're actually going to see 5, and it can be very confusing to a lot of people. I know it was confusing to me. I'll talk about what that 5th digit is. In order to measure the quantity, you have, here it is. This is an example of what it looks like. So 0.001 equals 1 pip. 0.0010 equals 10 pips. You get the idea. You guys can see this, okay? Remember, it is the 4th decimal place. Over. There's a comma here, but it's really supposed to be a decimal. It was just a really nice clip art. All right, now, here is that 5th digit that I was talking about, the pipette. All right, I hate this little thing because it gets in the way and it's actually cost me some money on some of my sleepy trading nights, okay, or distracted trading evenings. Some brokers offer prices that go up to 5 decimals. I'd say a lot of them, most of them do. So if you say, this is kind of the same thing. Like this is what it looks like on the chart. See all those numbers? 0.30202. This 0 is still the pip. It really is. So if you're looking at, if it goes up at all, if it goes up a pip, this is the decimal that you need to be focused on. What I do is I mentally ignore that 5th digit after the decimal. I don't even see it anymore. When I'm typing it into my calculator, I ignore it altogether, all right? And it's beneficial for you to do the same, all right? Now, there is an exception to the rule. There are some currency pairs, such as the yen, JPY, basically, the yen. They have 2 decimal places, all right? Most of the time, though, you're going to see them written in 3 decimal places. And I will give you a visual to put, so you can see this better. So again, remember, I hope your brains are overheating right now. That means your brain is doing its job. If you're confused, good. Okay, so anyhow, as I was saying, yes, there are some exceptions. There's the yen, and then there's gold. That's another one that happens to, that only, has 3 3 numbers after the decimal, but the second digit is the actual pip. Okay, so remember, when you see 5 numbers, it is the 4th digit, that's the pip. When you see 3 numbers, it is the 2nd digit, that is the pip. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? Type in the chat, let me know. Let me know if you're like, okay, yeah, just stay with me, okay? Don't try to eat the whole elephant, y'all. Just take the bites, take the little bites, okay? So, good, I'm glad people are understanding, great. Here's a good visual. Those of you who like to write down stuff, this is a good thing to include in your notes. See right here on this side? This is mostly how you're gonna see it in the market. You know what, I rarely see it written like this. I usually see it like this, 5 digits, 3 digits. So you just have to ignore. You just have to act like what you're really seeing is that. This is the pip, that is the pipette. Pipette means little number, okay? It's basically the et means small. All right, so we ignore. Why do we even need to know the pipette then? It is, you know, some brokers like to include that information because it gives you more information about where the market may go or might go. Some people like to employ those in their trading systems and whatnot, but I'll tell you, for me, it has confused me. It has cost me it's caused distractions for me, you know. So, and I'm talking only from my own personal experience. It says, would the advanced chart said it'd be easier to see the pips or add or subtract because the numbers are bigger? Yes, and I think that's why they have, you know, it's kind of like, you know, back in school when you would subtract, or, you know, when you divide numbers and you just have this crazy long decimal number, you know, but they will tell you to just reduce it or, you know, pretty much round to the nearest 100th place. That's kind of essentially what we're doing. This is like, if you were to include all those numbers, that would be the most accurate number that you're getting in the market. But in all actuality, the 4th digit is all we really read. Okay, so that's basically how that goes. All right. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right, so how do you calculate pips? Okay, here it is, guys, the pips. This is where the money is made, and if you're not careful, lost because of poor calculation, which can happen to you at the most sleepiest times or the most distracted times, which is why let me say this right now. If you are sleepy, don't trade. Just do yourself a favor and do not try to trade. I mean, you can demo all day, but do not do live trading when you are exhausted, because your mind will make up numbers that are not there, okay? I'm speaking from experience. If you are distracted like I am, I have 4 children. I got small children that like to talk and call my name so much. Like my name is what they need to get through life. Like it's the air they breathe. If you are distracted, do not trade at that time, okay? Because it's the same thing. It's kind of like trading when you're sleepy. It's like trading under the influence. That's like if you were drinking alcohol, it probably wouldn't be a good idea to trade when you're drunk. It's the same thing when you're sleepy or when you're highly distracted. And let me just put out there, while you're driving, do not trade while you're driving. Okay, so there you have it. No, you are not alone. No trading while you're driving. That's a huge distraction and unsafe. All right, so how do you calculate? Let's talk about that. You enter, here's a pair, New Zealand dollar, all right, on a sale at 4.56567, and you exit at 4.56776. What is the pips that you gained or lost? Now, this is a loaded question. I want you to answer, one, how many pips did you gain? Or did you gain any? Or did you lose any? And then the other is, well, how many pips, period? I'll walk you through the first set. What you would do if you're trying to calculate is you basically would take the number that you started with and you subtract it from the number that you are exiting with or ending with, and then you'll get like a decimal number, such as this, okay? So I took this number minus that number, 1, alrighty, yep. And then I got, you know, equals 0.0029, okay? Now remember, what did I say? Which is the pip? The 4th digit from the decimal, which happens to be right here. So what do you really do? Let's make it easy. I'm all about simplifying, guys. You slide this decimal over 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. What do you have? You have 20.9 pips. You guys see that? Like, that's how much pips you gained or lost, okay? Now, I'm glad that makes sense. Make sure you slide it over. As you slide, I hate doing all this little elaborate calculations, dividing this number by, 0.100, all that. No, slide the decimal over. Okay, so now here's the key. Did you lose this trade or did you win this trade? If you go by color, that might give it away. Let me point you to the fact that I said you enter on a sell, okay? Yes, you did lose. You enter on a sell. See what you started with? This is what you entered at. But notice that these numbers ended higher. But remember, a sell means you're expecting the market to go down, right? But instead, the market went up against what you expected. So you did lose. That would be considered a loss. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you guys? Please type in the chat that yes, I get that, or no. What? Can you explain? Makes sense. Good. All right. Good. Seeing my yeses. Okay. Please feel free to throw a no in there. If your brains are overheating, remember, good. That's good. That shows life. No. Okay. All right. So and explain one more time. Okay. I will. And then I'm going to actually have you guys do it. So make sure you start dusting off your calculator or get your pencil and pad. We're about to do some subtracting and whatnot. All right. So remember, on a sell, we expect the market to go down. So, but in this situation, the market didn't go down, right? 0.5656. It ended at 0.5677. Ignore that 6. Notice how it ended higher than when we started with. So we lost the trade because when you place a sell, you're saying, I want the market to go down. But instead, it went up. So that's how you lost, all right? And then to actually understand how to calculate, you're just subtracting numbers. And then we slide the decimal over. We will do another one, okay? So here we go. Let's do another one. And this is where it will start to include you. If you don't understand it, you will eventually, trust me. So here we go. I'm going to have you guys do this one. You enter Euro GBP on a buy at 0.85646 and exit at 0.86549. Did you gain or lose pips and how much? Okay, go ahead and in the chat, I want you guys to tell me, what did you get? How many pips did you gain or lose? Okay. Remember, buy means you are expecting the market to go up. Okay. You're expecting the market to go up. All right. So I got some people. All right. Okay. I'm getting a lot of gains, but as far as the pips, I'm getting different numbers, which is okay. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the math first. So we entered, remember, buy, we expect it to go up. Did these digits, you started at this, and as you can see, this digit is much higher than that one. So that was good. That was a good trade. We gained. Now, when you take this minus that, you end up with 0.0090, right? And a 3. All right. When we slide the decimal over, 1, 2, 3, 4 places. Remember, because the pip is always the 4th digit. All right. Then you should end up with 90.3 pips. Does that make sense? Did you guys get how I did that? And me, as a note taker, I like to take all the notes. Like if you want to screenshot this so you can just see even how I did the math, this is the formal way of doing it. You divide these digits. Now I don't know why it says 209, so please ignore that. But anyhow, sliding digits or sliding decimals are way easier. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, especially to my people who were not understanding it earlier. But it's okay. We got one more anyhow. All right, we're going to do another one. What does the pips equal to? The pips are equal. Basically, it depends on your lot sizes. So I will actually get to the lot sizes, but the pips are basically how you get paid. It determines, like you get 90 pips, that can determine basically if you're getting 90 cents or $90 or $900. It's all based on your lot size, which I will actually talk about later. But pips should get you excited, okay? All right, so let's try some more real time. Here's an actual chart, okay? Because this is really what it's gonna look like. When you are analyzing your chart, you're going to be seeing these little, these things, instead of me calling them jiggy jaggies, because that's what I called them when I first got in. They're called candlesticks, okay? And each one of these candlesticks open and close. These little long skinny lines are called the wicks or even the shadows, okay? And they open and they close at certain places, and they just, that's basically, these are called candlesticks. Okay, that's the super basics and whatnot. All right, so you enter here at point, let's see here, 1.4500, and you exit here. Was this a buy or a sell? First of all, did I place a buy or a sell? If I entered here and I exited down here. Good. I'm seeing some sells. Excellent, guys. Good job. Yes, you placed a sell, so that's good. I'm glad you guys are saying that. I placed a sell, and this would have been a very good trade. The next question I have was, how much did I gain? How many pips did I actually gain in this situation? All right, did I gain? What did I actually gain? Go on and type it in the chat. Give you some time to do math. This is where you have to dust calculators off and whatnot. Go on and put it in the chat. We'll start off. Remember, you take the number you started with and you subtract it from the number you exited with. All right? And then you get a number. You might get like a decimal number. Slide it over. All right, Sharon. When you are calculating, remember, you take this number and you subtract it from that number, right? And so go ahead and put that in your calculator. For those of you who are lost, and remember, that's okay. You will get it. So 1.4500 minus the 1.4245. All right. You should have got a number that looked like this. 0.0255, I believe. Kind of like that. Yeah. That's what you should have got when you punch that in your calculator, right? So now, remember what we're supposed to do with this decimal, right? Once you get your decimal, good. You slide it over to 4 places. So you slide it here, there. Hold on, let me go ahead and get all my, this takes you all the way back to school. So you remember, where's my little cool, I'm trying to do the little slide method here for you guys. See, you take it, slide it. It's not working out as great, but boom, there it goes. In that 255. That was excellent. Your calculator must be sick. It's okay. Anyhow, does that make sense? Do you guys understand how I did that? Hopefully you do, because we're going to do another one. All right, so let's try another one. All right, yes. Good. Okay, here's another one. You enter here at 103.75. And you exit at 102.80. What exactly? Tell me, how many pips did you gain? Show me in the chat. Oh, shucks. Okay, Damaris, you said you've been adding the wrong numbers the whole time. Well, there you go. Good thing that you are figuring this out now. Okay, guys, I did it again. Yes, okay. All right, I'm going to end up having 2 different numbers because I keep undoing this. So 103.75 is where I said you entered and then you exited there. Okay, so I probably am going to see 2 different numbers because some are listening to what I said and some are listening to what they see. So the 2 numbers are going to be good, and I'll explain what I mean by both of those. So, okay. So I'm seeing 95 and I'm saying 2.25. The 2.25, you're probably coming from right here, because I said I entered and I exited there. I don't know why I just keep on confusing myself. But anyhow, you are both correct. Let's go ahead. I'll show you the breakdown, okay? So remember, you take, what is it? 103.75 and you subtract it. Now I'm going to do this number first just because that's the one I actually said. And then I'll do this one because that's what I actually meant. So anyhow, so 103.75 minus the 102.85, okay? So you probably got a number that looks like this, 0.95, right? Something like that. So when you slide the decimal place over twice, you should have ended with 95 pips, okay? Now, if I, was doing what actually was shown on the screen, sorry guys if I confused you. See, 103.75, this is what it actually says. You enter here, right there, and then you exit there at 101.50, okay? So this gives you kind of a bonus, a bonus adding and subtracting. All right, so that's what you get. You should have ended up with something. You probably ended up with a number that looks like 2.25 in your calculator, right? But when you slide, or did I do that right? I think it was 0.25. Hold on, let me actually calculate this. All right. So when I punch this in my calculator, 103.75 minus 101.5. So I ended up with 2.25, right? 2.25. When you slide the decimal over 2 places, then you should have gotten 225 pips, okay? Oops, does that make sense? You guys understand that? So the question was this a sell? It was a sell, because remember, you entered here, the market moved down. So if you placed this here and you exited there, that was a good trade for you. That was a great trade. I'm glad you got it, Deborah. I'm really glad. So it says for the first one I got 0.9, the 5 just drops down. Okay, so if I actually calculated the 103 minus, 103.75, I'll do that real quick on my calculator. 103.75 minus 102.85. Oh, whoa, that's not it. Okay, 103.75 minus 102.85. Okay, 0.9 is what I got, okay? So, yes, it should have been 0.9. So if you slide the decimal over, it should have been about 90 pips, okay? Does that make sense? So when you have 4 digits, you move over 4 places, you got it, Esther. Like, that's even worth writing down for people who want to simplify everything I just said. When you have 4 digits, you move over 4 places. When you have 2 digits, you move over 2 places. Now, Esther, I just want to remind you. Hold on a second. Let me erase this. I just want to remind you that, remember, I'm going to go back quite a bit. Remember when I talked about pips and pipettes, most times you're going to see the numbers 5 digits, but remember, it is always going to be the 4th digit. All right. And then you're going to see 3 digits instead of, they're not going to always look like this. They usually will look like that. So if you see anywhere from 4 to 5 numbers, then you move it over 4 places. All right. Does that make sense? Ooh, excuse me. All right, you got it. Okay, so the 2-digit could have been the yen, could have been, I believe that was the yen. Yeah, because gold has like a gazillion numbers in the front. All right, so now the next thing I want to talk about, like, we understand calculating pips. It's so important for you to calculate. But there's something else that you got to understand. When you're taking a signal, a lot of times, guys, you're going to see like stop losses. You're going to have to set your own stop losses. Sometimes people will say, hey, this is the stop loss. Other times they're going to say, you should buy now, use your own risk management. All right, so it says, wait, so do you add pips? So when do you add pips? You know what? Good job. Look, I'm going to tell you that right now. So it says, why is some wicks longer at the bottom and some wicks longer at the top? Now, okay, just a side note, the reason why, like, basically, like, I would challenge you guys, I encourage you to get online and look at the anatomy of a candlestick, because it will tell you all of this. I'll tell you this now, but then I encourage you to go online, write it down. Anatomy of a candlestick. It will basically explain what a candlestick is. All right. You've got, like, this candlestick actually will give you 4 pieces of information. All right. This little, blocky thing here is called the body. This is called the wicks or the shadow. All right. Depending on the type of candlestick, you've got the blue one and the red one. Blue means it's going up. Red means it's going down. Down the line, guys, people can change colors on this. This could be green. That could be red. On my chart, I have pretty turquoise blue and purple because those are my favorite colors. All right. So you can actually change the color. What you need to know is that the candles that are going up, these are considered bullish, or the bulls, because the market is about the battle between the bulls and the bears. All right, bulls mean going up. Bulls is when you want to place a buy. Bears is when the market is going down. Bears mean you want to place a sell. So this candlestick gives you 4 different information periods. It tells you where the market opened and where it closed, and the highest it got and the lowest it got. So here, on a bullish candle, meaning when it's going up, right here would be considered where the market opened up. So it opened up right here. All right. If you ever watch your charts and you watch the timer run out and a new candle starts to form, you will always see, okay, you'll always see like a little tiny line. Where that line first came, that's where the market opened, okay? Now, this right here is basically where it closed at, right down there, or excuse me, on a bullish, it opened there and it closed higher. It went up, closed higher, okay? Now, this long wick up here means this is the highest the market got, okay? So this line went all the way up here. Some lines are really, really high, all right? This long line means this is the lowest the market ever got, okay? But it ended up closing here, all right? So it opened, it closed, the highest it got, the lowest it got, okay? And I'm gonna just actually take like a little side note. Can I actually, you know, stop my little thing here? Okay, I wanna actually show you. Here's Trading View. I'll show you real quick, a side note, you know, this is just some bonus information, okay? Let's go with New Zealand, USD. Okay, this right here is Trading View. If you go to tradingview.com, oops, I put too many D's. You can actually use this. Okay, so if I was to zoom in on right here, okay, you see these little digits right up here at the top? See the OHLC? That means this is where the market opened. This is where, this is the highest it got, this is the lowest it got, and that's where it closed, okay? So this is, for this one, it opened here, it closed there. The highest it got, the lowest it got, okay? Does that make sense to you guys? That was just a little bonus information. So if you're confused, it's okay. But when you start doing, so yeah, that is what the OHLC on your charts, yes. All right, OH, open, high, and look, it varies. Like when you start, when I hover over this one, see the color of the OHLC is blue. It's telling me that that's the open, the high, the low, the close. On this red one, it changes every time you go over a new candlestick, okay? So these wicks can be very, very long. That just means at one point, the market got really, really high, but it ended up closing down low, okay? All right, so just some bonus information. Okay, so let me get back to my PowerPoint. Okay. All right, are y'all with me? Hold on a second. Where'd you guys go? I can't see you. Can you guys see my screen? Am I not sharing it anymore? Hold on a second. No, okay, I stopped sharing. Okay, let me get back to sharing. All right, there we go. Okay, sorry. All right, so now we just finished calculating pips and whatnot. Now I want you guys to understand about stop losses, okay? Stop losses, when you start making orders, we start trading and whatnot, you're gonna have to calculate your own take profits. You're gonna calculate your own stop losses. And as I said in the past, I don't like to take signals, me personally. I don't like to take signals, and it's just my type, it's just my personality. I like to learn. Down the line, I don't mind when someone gives a signal, I'll look at it, but there's nothing more for me empowering and powerful than to be able to look at a signal that somebody else said and say, I don't see that, I'm not taking it. Or, yep, I saw that too. This makes me feel even better. I'm gonna go ahead and take that. I'm about to take this move. So when you get into IML, it will teach you the knowledge so you can throw your own signals if you want, okay? Me personally, I like to learn first, and then I'll be happy to look at what other people are doing, because what other people are doing will be more of confirmation that yes, they see it too. Or no, what are they doing? I don't know what they think they're talking about. Sometimes that happens, okay? It's better to be able to follow yourself, guys. You know, you want to have confidence in your own self, okay? So anyhow, calculating stop losses. First of all, what is a stop loss? A stop loss is nothing more than a safety net. So when I talk about buying and selling, like, okay, right here, this would be a great sell opportunity, right? The market's going down. If I got in here and the market went down, I'd be a very happy girl. But what if I got in here instead? What if I got in there on a sell? I would not be very happy, guys, because this thing would have moved a lot of pips against me where I entered. Remember, sell means you expect it to go down. In this situation, if I placed a sell, then I would have lost money, okay? Now, how much money do you actually lose depends on you. Remember when I said the only thing you can control is how much you lose? Here is where the stop losses come into play, okay? Remember, this is where this would have been a buy. If I placed a sell here, that means I expect the market to go down. See this little green line? I expect it to go down here. So what happens? How do I protect myself? How do I control how much I lose? By setting stop losses, okay? So remember, in a buy, you expect the market to go up. So what you would do is you would place a stop loss below. In the event, let's pretend that this green line is my stop loss. So in the event, if the market happened to, if I placed a sell, if I placed a buy here, not a buy here, if I placed a sell here, let me make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, sell. Yes. If I was to place a sell here and the market moved above me, like right here, I want it to go down, but excuse me, let's pretend this blue line, sorry guys, let's pretend that this blue line is my stop loss. If I placed a buy, then this would be great. This is good. But if I placed a sell and I expect it to go down, if it moves against me, then this will take me out of the trade. Basically, if I said I only wanted to lose $50 and I calculated how much it would take to lose, how many pips it would take to lose $50, that is how you do your stop loss. So I know I'm starting to confuse people because I'm starting to confuse myself while I'm talking. So let me show you. Here we go. This is better. I actually worked on this for you guys. So let's pretend that I entered here, okay? I'm entering here on a sell, all right? This is great. This is a good move for me. The green means I entered. This red is my stop loss. So what happens if I entered here on a sell, but what if the market continued to move up? What if it moved up 5,000 pips like it's done before? Oh my gosh, all my money is gone now. But if I do some proper risk management and I figure out how much I'm willing to lose and I place my stop loss right here, if the market happens to go up here, boom, I'm out of the trade, okay? Can you see how that's like a safety net for you? Do you understand how a stop loss is like a good safety net? Type in the chat, yes, I can see that, or no, not really. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, good. I see one person can see that, good. Okay. Yes, good. I'm seeing a lot of people. And it happens so much, guys. Like, stop losses are important. Like, what if you don't want to sit and stare at your phone or your computer all day? I mean, after all, we all have lives, right? So if I place my order and then I set my stop loss, I go about my business. I go to sleep, I play with my kids, I go to work, whatever. And if it happens to hit my stop loss, hey, at least I was aware of how much I was going to lose. I was already aware of that. Okay, I already calculated how much I was willing to lose. $50, I'm good. In fact, every time I place a trade, guys, I already kissed the money goodbye. The worst could happen is I lost the money I expected to lose. The best that could happen is I gained like 3 times the money that I expected to lose. Okay, that's the best. Or it gets even better than that. Okay, so it says yes, but how do you set stop loss on Signal? Or yes, I will totally show you that, Esther. Thank you for asking that question. Said the most successful traders don't set stop loss. Is that true or no? I would say no. I would say no to that specifically because there are successful traders that are good, but look, guys, okay, when you have crazy volatile news, like, okay, just the other day I was in a trade and I was showing a friend of mine this trade. You know, at this time, it said like, I don't know, negative $60, which is, it was small. I was back testing a strategy and whatnot. So it was small. And, right there as we were looking, it said 60. And it had said 60 for probably, I don't know, probably like half the day. And so I was like, yeah, it's just been at 60 and whatnot. It's not a big deal. I will tell you guys, I blinked my eyes. And that thing jumped from 60 to negative 190. Like, I blinked. Negative 190, okay? Pips, or not pips, dollars, all right? Amazing, okay? Now, that's small potatoes compared to when you look in the market and in a blink of an eye, it will drop 1,800 pips in like 3 minutes. Ooh, that just hurts. So, yes, stop loss is basically your safety net. The more successful traders, they might have wider stop losses. They have larger capital accounts that can withstand, further dips and whatnot. People, a lot of times people might set their stop losses a little too small, a little too short, and they get what's called stopped out. For instance, this line right here, 104.11. You see that line? Had I set my stop loss right there, then I would have been stopped out. And the worst thing about it is if I placed a sell, the worst thing about it is the fact that it actually did what I wanted it to do, but it went up. Remember, the wicks means that's the highest it went, but it's not important because that's where it actually closed. So the market actually did what I wanted it to do. All right, so you have to understand, like when you start working with when you start getting on IML, they will teach you proper technical analysis so you're not guessing. When I started, I guessed. I was just like, oh, I'll just put my stop loss here. Or I did like the standard 30 pips because it seemed like everybody was just doing 30 pips. So I just assumed that every stop loss should automatically be 30 pips. That's not the case. Every trade is different, just like your kids. All your kids are different. You can't treat them the same way. Your trades are the same thing. They are all different. You can't treat them the same way. When you start learning technical analysis, they'll teach you about support, resistance, supply zones, demand zones, all different types of things. And you will start learning that, okay, for this trade, it requires me to put my stop loss here. This one, I might need a wider stop loss, you know, and whatnot, okay? So there you have it. So no, I would say no, most experienced traders use stop losses. The more aggressive, high risk people trade without, or the people that have lots and lots of money and they can like expect a huge dip, but they know down the line, you know. So there you have it. All right, so now here's another example. I place a buy here and I put my stop loss there. Okay, so now you want to make sure you write this down, guys. Buy up, stop down. Sell down, stop up, okay? Buy up, stop down. Sell down, stop up. Why? Because when you start to calculate in your MetaTrader 4, like I will show you, where do you put your stop loss? How do you set your stop loss? It's important for you to calculate, okay? So like if I was to go back to this right here, right there, remember, buy or sell, see, sell down, stop up. That means you have to, what are you going to do to find your stop loss? Are you going to add or are you going to subtract? Tell me right here. You're going to add or you're going to subtract? If you enter here, you adding to find this stop loss or are you subtracting to find the stop loss? Good. I'm seeing ads. You can see it visually. Like I'm big on visual. Anytime I'm doing a trade, I always use that trading view, as you guys kind of saw. I'm always using my trading view. I like to look at the market, you know, where it's at. Okay, this is where I want to enter. Okay, so my stop loss needs to be here. And that's how I figure it out. Okay, I add. So I look at, okay, this is the number I want to enter at. So I'm going to add, let's say I need a stop loss of 50 pips. So I'm going to add to the number that I'm starting with. So if I started at 103.75, then I would add 50 pips to that to find my stop loss. So you guys, do me that favor. Add, what would the stop loss be? If let's say I entered at 103.75 and I wanted a stop loss of 50 pips. Tell me, what should that number be? Okay, I got some really fast people. Good job. What should that number be if I was to add 50 pips to that 103.75? Okay. Put the number if you figure it out. Put confused if you don't understand. So 104.2. Now remember, Keon, you definitely want to put that 5 in there because that's actual 5 pips, you know, and that's a big difference. It can be, depending on your lot sizes, which I will go over here shortly. Okay. All right. So yes, it should be 104.25. So that's what you would put in your MetaTrader 4, and I will show you that. All right, Demarius. So, or Demarius, I think. I hope that's how you say your name. All right, so 103.75. Remember, like your stop loss is above. So you would have to add, because remember, in a sell down, stop up. In a sell, you expect it to go down. But what happens if it doesn't go down? What instead if it goes up against you? Then you would need to know where you are willing to tap out. Like I'm willing to tap out right here. Okay, does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay, and if it doesn't, please feel free. You can keep on, we'll keep going. Okay, so buy up, stop down. Sell down, stop up. screenshot that will help you when you are, I'll actually tell you that in a minute, Ola, about what is the pips. I'm actually getting to that right now without further ado. Pip or lot sizes, okay? What does a lot size refer to? So now I just switched gears real quick, but I'm gonna bring it all the way back to you guys, okay? So what is a lot? Remember, this is a lot, a bundle of units and whatnot, okay? You can't, like this water situation, like you can't just have a whole bunch of water and say, hey, you know, to the grocery store, I just want to buy one of those. Can I just get one out of that little pack? They're going to say, no, you got to buy the whole 24 pack. Sorry. Okay. It's the same thing with a lot. Like a lot is referred to in units. All right. You know, with most people, most retail traders, we just can't afford to trade $5 million worth of you know, another currency. So we use leverage, kind of like when you go buy a house, right? The house costs $250,000, but you don't have $250,000 cash, like right there. You might have, you know, 10,000, or you know, you might have, you know, 50,000, but you don't have the 250. So what do? You take out a loan. What does your bank require to give you 250 besides, you know, decent credit here in America? 20%, right? They want 20%. So for 20%, we will give you $250,000. And that's kind of what these lots are, okay? If you, for every like $1 that you have on a micro, you're able to trade 1,000 units. On a standard, for every $1 you have, you're able to trade 100,000 units. Okay, so you have higher leverage. Now the problem is people get attracted to that high leverage, and that could be bad, because while you can trade 1,000 units, you can also lose 1,000 units. That doesn't mean you're going to lose $1,000, but this will help you make more money faster, right? Help you make more money faster. Okay, so $10 per pip is a standard, $1 per pip is a mini, and 0.1 is a micro. So I keep having the question, does 50 pips represent $50? Depends on the standard or just the lot sizes. If you are trading a standard lot, that would be $10 per pip, so that'd be $500. Okay, if you were trading a micro, that's 10 cents per pip, so that's going to be what, $5? Okay. The problem is a lot of people come in and they want to start trading $10 per pip when they really should be trading, you know, 10 cents per pip. All right. That goes back to risk management right now. Okay. So I will actually, you know, I'll show you, there's a risk management calculator that you guys can use. When I tell you about how I'm only willing to lose $50, or I'm only willing to lose $200 on this trade, but I'm willing to lose 200 in order to gain 600. That's a great risk to reward ratio. Every trade, guys, that you take should not be off of your gut, your feeling, you know, I just feel this way, I feel it in my butt. No, you don't feel, there's no emotions. You need to be robotic when it comes to Forex. You need to know that you have an educated guess. The market was here before. You got to have, when you start doing the Forex, they'll teach you about support, resistance, technical analysis. You have a game plan. And when the market plays into your plan, you pull the trigger. After you decide, I'm willing to risk this much because I see a potential gain of this much. All right. You will actually start to be able to see that when you start looking at the market. And the more you start looking at certain currency pairs, the more you'll start to get, you'll start to understand how they work and how they move. Okay, I will show you this currency position size calculator real quick. Okay, all right, let me show you this. If you go to Google and you type in position size calculator, all right, it will come up. You'll see this myfxbook.com position size calculator. I use this thing for every trade. Guys, every single trade I use this. Okay, this is what keeps you in the game a long time, all right? So let's say you started off with an account of $3,000, okay? You figure out how much percent am I willing to risk on a trade. I'm willing to risk 3%, all right? You should not risk any more than 1 to 5% of your overall account on any one trade. 5% is pretty aggressive, in my opinion. Oh my goodness, if you're doing 10%, you can kiss your stuff goodbye, especially if you're a beginner, because you will start taking gigantic chunks out of your account. So 1 to 3, for me, I don't go anything above 3%, okay? Now, your stop loss is determined by your plan, your technical analysis. As you start to analyze and learn, you know, get on the London sessions and the other basic trainings that are offered, you will learn how many pips that you should probably go. Okay, so let's pretend I was going to just risk 50 pips. You calculate, okay? So now, when I talk about I'm only willing to risk $90, this thing calculates my risk, okay? So I see that in order to do a 50 pip stop, I'm going to lose $90. I like to look at what I'm going to lose in the face because it makes me feel in control. Like, okay, all right. It's kind of like when you let somebody borrow your money. Do not lend money that you don't expect to get back, because it will ruin a good friendship, first of all. So you only lend what you don't mind not getting back. Same with trading. You only invest what you can be okay with losing. Okay, so this actually tells me my lot size. See that 0.180? Okay, if we go back to this PowerPoint here, and let me make sure I'm not losing people on the questions here. If we go back to, what website? Okay, good. If we go back here, you will see, like, okay, let me make this big. Sorry, guys. All right, you will see this little area here where it says volume. That is where you type in your lot size. Okay, see this right here when I was talking about pips and how many? So that thing said 0.18. All right, that's like this. That would mean I can gain or lose $1.80 per pip. That is how you do it, guys. You do not get in here and feel nothing. You get in here and you plan everything. Everything is a plan, okay? You need to make sure that everything is a plan and everything is responsive, not reactive, okay? You are responding to the market. You are not reacting to what it's doing, all right? So that's where you place that number, that 0.18 that the computer gave you, that calculator gave you, that's where you place it. This here is what gets a lot of people in trouble because they get in and they start trading crazy volume size and their account cannot handle it, all right? Did you guys see where, like back here, did you see? Like I got 3,000 in my account, right? This is how much I can lose. Now, what happens if I decide that, okay, now look, what happens if I want to trade 3 standard lots? See this number right here, 0.18? One standard lot, like how much would I actually lose? Let's see. If I was trying to trade 1 standard lot on a $3,000 account. So I'm just going to do some trial and error to see what it's going to take to get me there. Okay. So let's see. You just ignore this right now. You know, as a teacher would say, talk amongst yourselves, class. Okay. There we are, about there. Okay. So see that 1.02? Y'all see that? Now I am officially at a standard lot. Okay. Now, what am I actually risking when I think that, okay, I got a $3,000 account. I'm about to get in here and do this. Okay. If I decide with my $3,000 that I'm going to trade a standard lot 1.0, making $10 per pip, what a glorious idea, right? Well, not quite, because look at what you're risking. 17% of your overall account, guys. See that? And what if your feeling is wrong? Then you're going to lose $510 just that quick. Can you see why it is a good idea to use a position size calculator to help you find out what your lot size should be? Your lots will change with every order, just like your stop loss will change with every order. Does that make sense? But your overall ratio, percent-wise, I only want to risk 3%, should not change. Does that make sense to you guys? Are you understanding that? Yes, no? Did I lose you? Okay, good. All right, you cannot get in here and feel anything. Do not feel anything. Measure, okay? My husband's he's big on the whole measuring 10 times, cutting once type of dude, okay? All right, like, yeah. Anyhow, you know, when we moved into our house and we got new carpet, my husband, he had like, okay, he's not around, but he had like 10 different guys come to our house and do a carpet measurement. 10 different guys. Like, he's excessive because he was trying to find the best price. That was what he did 10 times. So he always would say it's best to measure 10 times and cut once. In this situation, I would say it's the same thing. When it comes to your money, guys, make sure you use your best resources, which is the calculator, all right? I thought he was crazy, but he always got the best deals. In the same way, if I would have just gone with the first guy who gave you the first price, that's kind of like you going with your gut feeling. Yeah, you're gonna lose a lot of money. In this situation, this person is trading with $30 per pip, 3 standard lots. Hopefully their account can actually handle that. All right. So now, finally, let's do the MetaTrader 4. I've talked to you about stop losses. I've talked to you about calculating your pips and your stop losses and whatnot. Talked to you about currency pairs, what those mean. So now to put it together, get your phones out. If you have a tablet, whatnot, get that out. Right now I have two different platforms, the iPhone and the the Android. I'm sorry. I have an iPhone, so you know. Anyhow, okay, so hola, you will totally understand this later, okay? Remember, if you're feeling confused, it's okay. Also, I'll give you time to ask questions. All right, when you first enter or go to your MetaTrader 4 on your phones, and you can do this now, you'll see a screen that looks like this, okay? If you got an Android, it'll look like this. If you have an iPhone, it'll look like that. This little plus sign is where you go to add currency pairs. So if I said, or say Lee called out a signal, or the harmonic scanner called out a signal and said, like, for instance, NZD USD. I don't see NZD USD up here. So does that mean that my phone can't trade NZD USD? No, that just means I gotta go add this, okay? So you would just click on this little plus sign and you would type in NZD USD. And then it would pop up and you would add it. And then it would show on your list of currency pairs, okay? That's how you get it, all right? They don't put every single one of them. This is just kind of like the default setting. Like when you first get a computer, you have default settings, right? Okay, hopefully that makes sense. So now, the next thing, you hold down that little line right here, this little arrow, on an iPhone, it actually tells you what it does. On an Android, it might just show you the symbol. This is where you click, you press and you hold, and then this screen pops up, trade chart details. I like to look at both of these often. Trade is where you would actually go to enter trade. Chart is so you can see the actual bar, candlesticks on your screen, okay? So that's what you would do. So I would click trade, okay? So now, if you were, if somebody pitched you a signal somewhere, this is where you enter it. So I had questions on, well, where do you enter your stop loss? Where do you enter your take profit? Here it is, guys. Now that we've done all that, hard work of calculating pips and whatnot and understanding, this is where you enter them. On an iPhone, it's easy. It tells you stop loss here, take profit there, okay? Buy, sell, you click. On an Android, it doesn't actually say stop loss or take profit. You just see a red and a green. Okay, our brains are powerful. A lot of times we've even associated red with stop here in the United States. I don't know what it's like in other countries, but red usually means stop. Green really means go. So stop loss, take profit. Okay, that's what those two are if you didn't know. All right, and then, okay, market execution. Good, I'll actually answer that in just a second. This right here is your volume, or your lot size. So right now, this person would be trading with a standard lot, guys. This person would be trading with a micro lot. So they'd be getting 10 cents per pip. This one would be gaining or losing $10 per pip. Let me just tell you this, guys, okay, because I've made mistakes on this as well. Every time you enter a trade, always make eyeballs with this. Always look at this, because there's been times where one trade I was good to trade, $5 per pip. This one maybe $1 per pip. That one maybe $10 per pip. But if you get too excited and you just hit the execution, boom, I'm hitting this button. There's been so many times where I've either overdone it, like, oh shoot, I didn't mean to do a standard lot. Or, oh, shucks, I meant to do a standard lot. So make sure you check this out, guys, before you press sell or buy. Nothing should be impulsive. Everything should be overlooked. On the flip side, make sure that this is what you want. Yes, did that a few times in demo. Do it in live. It will happen. But make sure you pay attention, which is why I said do not trade when you're sleepy. Do not trade when you're distracted, okay? Because that is the best way to lose money for this reason. Like, oh, man, shucks, I didn't mean to trade a standard lot. Or what if it was a trade that you were like super excited for and it's like, oh, shoot. This whole time I've been only gaining 10 cents per pip when I really could have had like $8 per pip, or the worst thing, another bad thing is here, this market execution. All right, market execution, by the way, means that you are entered straight into the market. Boom, I'm in. Okay, right there on the spot, instantaneous. Okay, on Androids, it might say instant execution. Okay, maybe not say market execution. That just means it puts you in instantly. All right. Then there are things called, I'll go back, sorry. Then there are things called buy limit, sell limit, buy stop, sell stop. So how do I change it to market execution from instant? Oh, sorry. Okay, Katina, yeah, instant and market execution are the same thing. So you don't need to change it. All right, and instant actually makes more sense to me. So market execution here. If you want to change it to what I call the set it and forget it orders, if you press up there and hold, this screen will pop up. Buy limits, sell limits, buy stop, sell stop. So basically, this will place a pending buy. So let's say you just don't feel like watching the market get to a certain spot. You know, maybe the market is down here, but you know it's going to move up here eventually, and you don't want to wait for it. You can set a buy stop. So as the market gets there, when it actually gets to the place where you want it to, it'll automatically put you in. All right, so a lot of people like to set what I call pending orders. If you want to know more about pending orders, then I suggest that you go ahead and Google them. Google pending orders. Google buy stop, buy limit, sell stop, sell limit. YouTube them. Get on IML Academy. They talk about them, okay? All right, just for the sake of time, I can't go into each and every one. But just know these are like crock pots, or, you know, I call them crock pot orders. You set it and forget it types of orders, okay? All right. Once you get into the market, remember I said you usually start off in the negative just because of the spread, but eventually you will go positive, hopefully. That's the goal, at least. This is what it looks like when you actually have a position. The position is what you've traded. So you could have several positions open, meaning you have several trades going. All right. So that's basically what that looks like. If you want to change something or modify, like what happened if you were like, oh shoot, sometimes I'll press buy without setting my stop loss or take profit, and I want to go back and set them afterwards. If you do that, you can just press and hold that button. Press hold here, and then this will come up. You click modify. When you click modify, it will take you back to the screen, and you can change everything but your lot size, unfortunately. It would be beautiful if you could change your lot size too, because what if you had like a 90 pip movement, and at that time you were making $9? If you just change your lot size, now you could make 900. Wouldn't that be great? Yeah, the brokers aren't that stupid though, unfortunately. So you can change everything but your but your lot size. So you can change your, and that's how you manage your orders as well. Okay. And then finally, let's see here. You can switch pairs as well. Oh gosh, here's another thing. Back to sleepy and distracted trading. All things on this screen you need to look at. You need to look at, did you press buy when you meant to press sell? Is your lot size what you wanted? Are you in the right pair, guys? Because there are so many times where I'm like, yes, Euro USD. Oh man, I meant Euro JPY. Oh, you know. That's happened to me too many times, okay? So always, before you press buy or sell, make sure lot size is where you want it and pair is where you want it, okay? You can risk not setting your stop loss immediately just so you can get in the trade and get a good position, but get back in there ASAP and put your stop loss in. That's when you modify them, okay? Do we enter stops in pips or dollars? You're entering the stop loss in this form here, in these decimals. So you're entering them in pips, okay? Yes, you're entering them in pips. So right here, see that? 10976 and then that little 3. All right, this is what you would be entering. So if I wanted to add 50 pips, you're adding 50 pips to that number. So that's what you would actually set right here. Okay, does that make sense, Esther? Okay, all right. I'm glad that you're liking this training, Katina. All right. Okay, so now the last few things. How do you take signals? You'll see signals that look like this. I'm just going to show you how you enter all this in. If you were anything like me, which hopefully you guys are not, like, don't do this. This is what me and my husband did when we first got in. We were just so anxious to take a signal, guys. We just wanted to take one so bad. You know, we'd take one from anybody. Just give me a signal. Like one day, my husband, we were out finally. We were on date night and we're in the middle of the movies and he saw a signal pop up on his phone and he was like, oh my gosh, like he was ready to leave the movies to take this because he didn't understand how to do it. You know, yeah. Needless to say, that was not okay. We were on date night. But anyhow, yes, do not be too anxious to take them. But in the event when you finally get your learnings about you and you are ready to take a signal, this is how you take them. They will look like this. Sell USD JPY. So they're telling you what currency pair. They're telling you what to do. It's a sell. Enter now. So that means instant execution or market execution. Take profit 1, take profit 2. So take profit basically means, you know, when we were talking about this here, you remember that's your take profit. That's basically where you want the market to go to, okay? And the stop loss is what happens in worst case scenario if it goes against me, all right? Now, the reason they have 2 take profits is sometimes the market is moving in a good direction. So if it hits this one, then you can move and adjust your stop loss, or you can re-enter again so that way you can go to the next level, okay? That's basically what that means. This is how you enter a signal. You can screenshot this if you'd like, so you know where everything goes. You see here, okay, sell euro CAD. Look, guys, can you see how if you're distracted or sleepy or possibly drinking, how you can actually accidentally enter the wrong pair? Euro USD, Euro CAD. Yeah, make sure you pay close attention to those, okay? All right. Okay, so like hopefully this will help you. Ola, you said kind of demonstrate with an Android. So this is an Android here. It should say, if it says sell now, that's when you do market execution or instant execution. All right. So it says stop loss. It actually tells you the stop loss, so you can put it there in this signal. The take profit goes right there. Okay. They don't usually tell you your volume or your lot size. That is up to you. Okay. And that, remember, I showed you the position size calculator. Okay, for a reason, so that you can figure out how big of lots you should be trading. It goes off of your account. If you have $500, you should not be trading a standard lot, okay? And that's the quickest way to lose all your money fast. All right, okay. So now here's the harmonic scanner. I just showed you this one just so you can see. Same thing. This one will give you a signal as well. Here's your stop loss. It actually tells you your stop loss. It shows you your entry point. So enter here, take profit there. And let me say, guys, I've been looking at this harmonic scanner for the last couple of weeks, and guys, it is on point. Like it is actually like executing all of these trades, a lot of these trades. It is 70% accurate. So if you guys are very interested, harmonic scanner is really great. When I talk about learning the skill though, it's nice to know how it works, because the harmonic scanner becomes a tool in your toolbox. And then you can actually look and be like, oh, yep, I see that, you know, or hey, it says the entry is here, but it really should be more like there. When you learn your own skills, guys, then that will help you be more profitable. Okay. So do we enter stops and pips? Oh, I already answered that question. All right. Is everybody understanding? You guys with me? Okay. Y'all quiet. All right. Okay, good. All right. So you see this here. Let's just do a little quick. Is this a buy or a sell here? Is this thing calling a buy or a sell? Is this a buy or a sell? Good. Seeing couple of people. Okay, good. It is a buy, and you can see that because remember, what was it? So you see there's a entry here, so it's buy up, stop down. See that? Buy up and you stop down. So right here, entry, you're expecting it to go up. You see your take profit, so you're buying, you want it to go up. All right, and remember, this take profit just means you will ride this, you know, to this take profit area. If it seems to continue in momentum, it might hit this next one, and then it might hit the next one. No, you do not get to type in 2, 3 take profits all at once. You would just adjust this in your MetaTrader 4 if you wanted to do that. Yes, look for the D. Yes, okay. So there you go. And then I believe a lot of times they'll tell you entry, take profit 1, 2, 3, stop. So the D just tells you, is it a buy or a sell? Okay. All right. So, and then Chris Terry, he gives swing trades as well. So you get so many different things that you can get from this company. You get the harmonic scanner. You have swing trades. You have swipe trades. You have people on our team that are calling signals. Okay. There's so many different ways. And then when you put knowledge, learning how to do this yourself, guys, it will go from you being dependent on these things to them becoming your toolbox. Okay, this is now a lot of things to add to your toolbox. You are the creative genius, and these are now your tools. And that is a much more powerful seat to be in than just blindly taking signals and doing what things say. Okay, that's just my opinion. I'm not about the blindly taking signals. I like to learn. But while you learn, you can do these things. You can take these signals. But it's so awesome to be able to use these as indicators to confirm what you already know, what you've already learned, okay? So I'm going to stop right there. Does anybody have any questions? Please feel free in the chat. Ask me any questions that you have. If you have any questions at all. Looking, you can also unmute yourself and ask a question as well. I have pretty much come to the end of my training. You are free to, you know, if you have things to do or places to go, now you can go ahead and you can excuse yourself if you have no other questions. If you have questions, please feel free to ask. Okay, so can you go back to the previous slide, trades, real quick? Yes, such as this one? Thank you. Oh, yes. Happy New Year to you guys, too. All of you who are on, thank you for being on. Thank you for sacrificing your time. Guys, for this new year, invest in yourself. I hope you bought yourself a present, and let that present be an investment in you. So much we invest in others, which is good, but you know, you got to invest in yourself. Okay, the harmonic. All right. And yes, this is recorded, I believe. Okay, let me, I know it's recorded. I'm just going back to see what the website was. It was richgirlstrade.us. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to turn this thing. Okay, there we go. All right. If you have, I got somebody have a question. Oh, Happy New Year from Ireland. Oop, nice to see you, Ireland. Yes, it's okay if you have a lot to learn. Okay, Keon asks, what point do you adjust to take profit? As I start to see, let's say that, you know, okay, I'm going to use this side. All right, let's say that I entered here, Keon. Okay, I'm glad this was informative, Howard. If I entered here, and this was my take profit line, as I see the market moving here, you can do one of two things. You can get out and enter again, you know, enter again, and then ride to the next one, or you can stay in and adjust your stop loss. You can just move your stop loss up into profit, okay? You can, because remember, when you first start, your stop loss is down here. If you hit that, you'd be negative. What you can do, let's say this red line is my stop loss. You can actually move your stop loss up, and then you can just, you know, move until you get to the next profit. That is kind of going with managing your trade. Uh-oh, okay. Do I have somebody asking a question? Did I have someone asking a question?
Yes, I have a question. The screen before the scanner, you said the stop loss was 101. Do you have to put all those numbers beside the 101 or just the 101?
You can put 101 and then this thing will automatically adjust it. It'll just put 101.00 for you.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But if you put like, there's a lot of times where I'll just say 101.5, then it'll give me 101.500. Like it'll fill in all of the extra digits with zeros. Does that make sense?
But with this one, where do you put the 101 though?
Okay, in this particular signal, it's saying that put your stop loss at 101. So that's really saying 101 even, okay? So you would put that right here. On an Android, you'd put it here in this little blank line. So you would just write 101. And then it would automatically just know that you mean 101.0000. Is that kind of what you're asking? But on an iPhone, you know, you would put the stop loss here. You would just write 101 and it would automatically adjust the format, basically. Okay? Because you see how this one's got all them decimals. This one just says 101 and no decimals. But there really are decimals there. It would be 101.000. That makes sense? Am I answering your question the right way?
I think so, but I'm not quite understanding it a little bit. So.
Okay, help me out. Like what exactly, how do I get you to understand? Like what exactly, what do you mean? I might just be misunderstanding your question. Hello?
I guess that's where I'm confused. I thought you had to put in all all 6 numbers.
Nope, you don't. Like if you just put, like if I just entered 1 here, it'll see how this has all those digits after it, all those digits. It will, if I just put 1 here, then it will automatically just look like 1.000000. Okay, it will automatically do it. You can get on your phone now and type, like go to that area depending on the currency pair that you're in. It will automatically adjust the format of your number. So yeah, you can write, there's no difference in putting 101 or 101.000. If you write 101 or type 101 here, it will adjust the format for you, okay? Because it likes to have those space holders, all right?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then Teresa says, if you get out and enter again, did you profit off the first stop loss? You don't profit off a stop loss. Remember, your stop loss is your safety net, right? Remember that? Let me go. Yeah, I'll go here. Your stop loss is your safety net. So if I got out, like if I took profit, yes, I'm out of the trade. So some people will get out of the trade and then they might enter again, you know, but using technical analysis, you would need to know when is the right time to enter. A lot of people don't like to exit out on the take profit area because they might lose a good position. Because imagine if you started off here and then let's say if you put your stop loss there, well, that's not going to be good because see, this thing went down, it like retraced. But if you entered here and you kept that, then this little retracement ain't going to hurt you because you're way down here. You would move this stop loss up a little bit. And that's how you, yes, that's how you save, that's how you actually get money or secure money. So in the event that the market goes way down, you know, for some reason it goes way down, you will still have gained money, okay? If your thing hits your take profit, then that's good. A lot of times that's a great time to check out. Otherwise, you wait for a new entry and then you can ride it to the next take profit. There's a lot of different ways around that. And when we talk about 4 basics and 4 Londons, they talk about, you know, technical analysis that teaches you about great entry points and exit points and whatnot. Okay, yeah, you secured your trade. It's basically what you're doing, you know. Okay, did that make sense? Hopefully. So thank you very much. Can you just go over again the bearish and the bullish? Keep switching which one is which. The bears are the ones that go down. If you ever saw The Revenant, I don't know if you've seen The Revenant, but just think about bears. Bears typically hug the ground, don't they? Like when they walk, they're on the ground. They're downwards, right? When they walk. Bulls, on the other hand, they swing up, right? When they try to, you know, you get close, they take their horns and they swing up. So bear, yeah, bear down. Oh, that's good. I'm going to use that now. Face alpha, bull up. Bear down, right? So bulls, if you can just remember bearing down, then you should remember bulls going up, okay? Pull up, bull up. I like that. Very nice. Pull up, bull up. Bear down, yes. That was good. See, I learned from you guys too. Did that make sense? Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, it was an awesome movie. It was pretty good. All right. Any other questions?
You said to look up the anatomy of a candlestick. That's on Google?
Yes, you Google it. You will see, let's see here, anatomy of a candlestick. I can show you. Yes, or candlestick anatomy. Now, always type in Forex. Otherwise, you might just get something from JCPenney's or something. Oh, I didn't put Google in, right? Okay, Google. There we go. So if you type in anatomy of a candlestick and then, you know, Forex, it should bring you to, you know, Japanese candlestick anatomy, and it'll show you. I can even stick this one in the, look at my sexy body. All right, right here. See, it'll show you, it'll talk to you about that. It'll tell you about, you know, the shadows that I was talking about, the long wicks. You see that right here? I'll put that inside the chat.
Yes, I see it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's other places. This one was just one of the first ones that came up, but they are Japanese candlesticks. Okay. Japanese candlesticks. There we go. So if you want to know more about it, it'll talk more about it and whatnot. Okay, basic Japanese candlestick patterns, all that. What is a candlestick? It'll go through that. Yes, there are definitely, yes. You know, the candlesticks are a part of the patterns and whatnot. Okay, so with bear, we do a sell order, bullish, expect, yes. You got that, Julia. Good job. With a bear, remember bear down, meaning you're expecting a sell. With bulls, you're expecting it to go up. Don't get caught up on the color, because like I said, I changed the color to things that I thought were pretty. Helps my psychology. All right, so there you have it. Okay. Any other questions?
Do you have any recommendations to teach you how to read the charts?
Big time. London session, basic trainings. I know, like, if you can't do the London session, I know on IML they have all kinds of, like, the DFW Trade House. They do Forex training and whatnot. I know that we have trainings Monday through Friday that talks more. I think Lee, she just talked about, you know, looking at the charts, I believe, support and resistance. That is going to be more advanced, slightly more advanced. Like, you know, this webinar was mostly for the people who were brand new. So you want to definitely get the understanding of entering, exiting trades. To go to the next level, which is looking at support and resistance, yes, the London sessions and whatnot. That's where I learned a big chunk of how to look at the charts and whatnot. Okay. Any other questions? How long do you stay in demo and practice? That is definitely a personal preference, but here, I will give you something that will help you. This is what I shot for. I stayed in demo until I tripled what I started with. Once I tripled what I started with, it's time to go live. However long that takes. Some people, it takes 6 months. Some people, it takes 1 year. Some people are in and out of the demo. But triple, double, whichever you want to go with. No, I am trade science. Yeah, trade science is me. I am, you know, I don't know if anybody knows Adaeze Duncan. That's my husband and whatnot. And I do the trainings for Tuesday nights. Lee, I believe she does Monday, and she does the signals and whatnot. She does a lot. She is a very awesome asset and leader for this team. Yeah, what was I? Yes, there you go. So if you want to know how long it should take you, if you cannot take your account and double it. So let's say you started in your demo account with, yeah, I love him too. If you cannot take your account and triple it or double it, then I don't know why you would think you're going to be successful doing live. Until you have gotten there, what's going to happen when you get there and do that, you're going to have so much more confidence when you enter the actual live training, which is definitely what you need. You will have much more skill. It will not be luck, because it takes a lot to be able to double and triple your account. You know, double or triple. It's up to you. If you feel real good after doubling, go for it. If you want to triple and that will make you feel good, go for it. So if you start with 3,000 in your account, in your demo account, then get it to 9,000. And then you will know you have the skill to get out there and do some things, okay? Too many people try to go live right away, and what ends up happening is people bump their heads, get burned up, and some walk away and say it doesn't work. But what actually happened, that's kind of like, you know, hey, you know, it's kind of like when you go to another country and you don't speak the language, you're going to bump up some time. And it takes, you know, actually, that's probably the best thing that you could do to learn the language. But it doesn't work in Forex. Okay, so there you have it. Any other questions? Okay, so do you need to still go set up a Scott Trade account or something? Scott Trade, so is that basically like a broker and whatnot? Yes, you can set up a broker and whatnot. You can have an account ready, but here, I'm giving you my personal opinion. Demoing is your friend. You can try anything out in demo. Thank you very much. You can try anything out in demo. Like, I know when I first started, I decided to trade with 30 standard lots, and I lost like $30,000 in like 10 minutes. Okay, but that was me trying things and guinea pigging things, and then eventually I got my life together, and and then I started using real methods that what I would actually do when I'm live trading. Okay, so it is good to still set up an account, but make it your goal. And this was my goal. I'm not getting out there until I double my account, double what I started with. Okay, and that will help you set an actual benchmark. And you will feel so good when you meet it. And that's what you need when you go out into the market. You need confidence, okay? MetaTrader 4 is for practice demo. No, MetaTrader 4 is the platform that you use to trade, but you can have a demo or a live account. MetaTrader 4 is actually the platform that you use to trade, okay? That's kind of like, you know, can't think of anything right now, but like, you know, yeah, like you go to a mall, there's all kinds of stores there, you know, but there's different stores for everybody and whatnot. Like MetaTrader 4 is kind of like the mall, and the demo is like one store, and the live is like another store. Like MetaTrader 4 is the big platform. And then you can trade live using MetaTrader 4. There's other platforms out there, but the most known is MetaTrader 4. Okay. How do I get on London live trading sessions? If you go to imllive.com, then you can get on them. All right. Depending on your time zone, some people don't like to get on them here in the US, especially Central Time, because they kind of come in at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. However, guys, treating it like an education and whatnot, like I did London session for 2 months straight. Yeah, 2 a.m. I did London session for 2 months straight. The auto trader, I would actually have to recommend that one to get back to the person that brought you here. They can help you out with the auto trader setup and how you do that. Okay, is it the live? Yes, the live trading room. Thank you very much, Keon. I believe I remember seeing you last time as well. Good job. 4 basics for Londons. Plus, we'll put a plus on there. Any other questions? These are great questions, guys. Excellent questions. Any other questions? Thank you. Thank you. What, Phased Alpha? I appreciate that. I would, but you know, I'm always teaching. Everything is a life. No, I'm just kidding. You know, my next class is Tuesdays. I do every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. Is there any other questions? Okay, sounds good. Look forward to seeing you. Thanks for, yes, it's 5 a.m. Yeah, you do have to go. All right. And I look forward to seeing you too, Sharon. Good job. Thanks for getting on, you guys. Thanks for investing in yourself. And thank you, Jonah. I appreciate that. You guys are making my head really big. Okay. And yes, Happy New Year to all of you. Okay, guys. Well, if there are no more questions, then I will talk to you guys later.